and my guests in the studio and also joining us by phone and Zoom are Nana Ansakwa the fourth. He's the chief of Kwemu Edumasa and host. He calls the place a Little Republic. And now, if you don't understand, you understand why. There are all new sets of rules there. You don't cut trees, and anyhow, you don't pollute and destroy the water bodies there. He's also the host of That's My Opinion here on Joy. We had earlier spoken to the regional minister Northeast, and here in the studio also we have Francis Kwesi Bonzo, District Chief Executive, Elembele. And it is important to note one thing that he has spoken about, the bizarre circumstances that he found himself in and the reclamation efforts that he's tried to do in respect of that case. And the case that has been referred to ADR. What were the charges in that case against the people involved?
The charges was they charged them on based on Section 99(2)A of Act 900/2015, illegal mining.
Right. Now, that particular charge is not amenable to ADR. Unless there's a new law, I'm not aware of it. Of course, the Plea Bargaining Act is a new thing. But our criminal procedure, our criminal process, we have what we call the Courts Act. The permission for ADR is for, in a criminal case, is for matters that are not aggravated in degree. In fact, they are misdemeanors, not felonies. All right? So how was that matter referred to ADR in the first place? We should be interested in finding out about that. Ignatius Asah-Mensah is District Chief Executive in Poho District. We were with him on the line. I go to him again shortly, and then we will go to Veronica Heming, District Chief Executive, Bali District. We also want you to remember that Dr. Henry Kwabena-Kukufu is joining us, and Dr. Tony Obing, founder and president, Africa Institute of Extractive Industries, also joins us. Now, Ignatius Asah-Mensah, you were telling us the circumstances at your place, but we want to move forward a bit and to find out, in your capacity as the DCE, what is it that you have been doing to stamp out or to minimize Galamsey activities?
Very well. Many times, some of the suits that have been undertaken, some of them I have an information from the community members. Some of them I'm being helped by some of the assembly members, and immediately I get this information. You know, the devastating ones as I'm talking about with excavators. Immediately I get this information, I mobilize my security apparatus, and then we move on. Then some of, in the times where we are unable to get the men from my district, I report to the regional security, and they come to my aid. I think I've sent some pictures to your studio where we chase some of them, and currently I have about 9 of these men that we went to arrest on the site in court. 3 of them, which we went to the court, the site to arrest them. We attended court, and then the next date is 27th of October. Some of them have been in jail for almost, or in prison cells for almost a year now, due to the rate at which the case is going, because it is with the AG now. You could see from your screen as I'm looking at it, and the one there, we are trying to surmount some of these hazards to go to where they are doing the work, because as I earlier said, they try to create hazards on the road so that it will be difficult for you to get there. Currently, We try to also burn some of the excavators because where they are, it will even be difficult for you to bring it closer to the roadside. So with the directives, normally we stick some of these directives.
Oh, you don't have 10,000 to hire a low bed to move them out.
Very well. The cost to also get the excavators to the low beds to get to our area.
But what you do, sir, must be lawful. You have a law that regulates this. It says if you find excavators there, you should move the excavators and put them in the custody of the nearest police station. When the trial of the case is over, the court will make a confiscation order. Then they'll be taken away from these people if they are found guilty, and then they'll be distributed to some of you, the district or government institutions that have need for excavators. And then there'll be a publication in the National Gazette so that we will all see that these are the excavators that were seized, and when the court made the order, they have been given to these places for them to be used. So you may want to rather try and spend money to take custody of them rather than burn them.
Yeah, that is the ideal. But you also go there and see the kind of devastation that they have done, and the difficulty of you drawing the excavator even to the roadside for even if you have money for a low bed to take it to the regional collation center, it's like you are rather even supporting them because you see before you
no sir you'll be following the law, and some of these are your evidences that you need, so you'll be following the law.
Very well.
Right.
No.
So now that you guys, and I've spoken to some of your other colleagues, now that you guys have literally turned yourselves into police officers who are leading some of these things, in your place, for example, how do you ensure, is it sustainable? The way you do the operation, is it sustainable?
Basically, no. Because
Why?
it's supposed to be continuous. And where they go to hide, you're supposed to have, fortunately, they are going to release this water bank trainers to come. And these people are coming to support us because they will be there 24/7. Because there were times that when they realize that I've been attacking them in the daytime, they come in the night. So in the morning, by the time that you hear that they have been there, before you realize they have gone. And it's also difficult for you to mobilize security men to go there in the night because their activities, because they are also doing illegalities, they come there with weapons. And you see, you have life to also protect. And when you are going there in night, it's very dangerous. And by the daytime, they have spoiled the place and they are gone. These are the nocturnal activities that they at times engage themselves in it. So we thank the president that now through the ministry they are training these water banks trainers. So when they come, they can easily help us to be able to patrol around the rivers. And as and when the issues are, we will be able to get it on the spot. Because these excavators, Samson, let me tell you, by the time that you will get the information, maybe it has been about a week, and the kind of devastation that these machines can do within a week, you cannot imagine. And these are the things that we have been chasing day and day out. We go into the rivers, we arrest them, and the case come to the court. When the case comes to court, it is being handled by the AG's office. And you know, AG's office, thankfully, recently when I went to court, I saw some cream of staff who have been employed. I don't know. Before then, you go to court and then AG's office, there is only one woman in Western region here. He has a lot of court cases to attend to. So your case, you come and then postpone. Then you go back to office. Then you go to another office. Then you go to postpone. Now, of late, when I go, my cases, they call. Because I've seen some young women lawyers who have been employed and they are dealing with the cases. That is another way that I also recommend the government for employing those ladies there.
Okay.
That maybe is also facilitating the rate at which our cases are
do you have the experience that some of your colleagues have getting threatened by the kingpins of these Galamsey activity?
Sorry.
Have you had circumstances where people that you have led your operation to arrest and then they come on bail or they get released and then later they are threatening you?
Many. You see, what happens is that, like as my colleague said, Bonzo said, you know, I have an experience where my own hometown, you go there to make arrest, and even your own siblings, your relatives, you have arrested somebody who does not come from the town and is doing illegality. And you have arrested a person and your own siblings start to even accuse you. And even going to your hometown becomes difficult for you because the economic benefits that they get from that activities that are going on is like you have come to curtail it. Some of them have even gotten married out of all these ones. And you have arrested the husband, the to-be or whatever husband that is feeding. And some of them, even when I arrested the 3 people and I'm sending them to a regional office, a cousin, you know, we are a smaller community, so a cousin has to case with a daughter and said that I should take the daughter and go and take care of the daughter in my house because the husband that feeds her is the one that I have come to arrest. Insult here, they try to don't walk on the road in the night or don't, because they would try to attack you and all those things. Those things are things that we are facing. But as Nana said, sometimes if you don't brace yourself out and then bring out fear that they will kill and all that kind of things, it's a way of also trying to get your men around you, police around you, so that whenever you are moving, you are also safe. But we tried to do this arrest just recently. We had a wind of it, and the way a Chinaman is devastating the place, I called the RESEC. My regional ministers just came in. 4 of his excavators where they are being located, the way they have devastated the place, the military plus RESEC team that came, burned all the 4 excavators. And before I realized, I came home in the night. When I was coming, I saw some light around. So I called the SWAT night duty patrol. And then when they came, immediately the SWAT night duty patrol came around my house. I saw the light, a car moving here and there, scatter. So if I did not been the experience that the SWAT come around to come and support me, maybe I wouldn't know what would have happened if I was entering my house because of that.
All right.
4 excavators that have been burned.
Okay. Thank you, Ignatius Asamen. Hold on for us. And we're being told about a situation where in your place, where he had to take the intervention of the minister himself to be able to stop the wanton distraction that was going on. If I can now hear briefly from Veronica Heming, and once we are done speaking to you, we are bringing in call them the experts, Tony Obing and Kokofu. Dr. Henry Kokofu will have some questions to pick from us. And then, of course, Nana Ansakwa is here to help us to now begin to look for what should be the effective solutions, the way forward. Yes, Madam Veronica Heming, thank you very much for joining us on Newsfile.
Oh, thank you very much.
Where in Bali is mining going on? Is there gold there?
Thank you for getting me to you. A lot of gold. It's a whole district. The southern part of Bali district, that's where the mining is going on. We have so many communities like Dollar Power, Dollar Power is where the gold is really concentrated. And then we have
please
we
either
have
reduce
reduce
the volume on your TV set or the set before you, or just put it
right.
off.
Okay.
So that I can speak directly. All right, so I'm now talking to Veronica Heming, who is the District Chief Executive of Bali. And you heard she's speaking about a place called Dollar Power. And she's saying that there's a lot of gold in the area. So how bad is your situation, and what have you been doing as a district?
The situation is this. We... Being in the middle of, I am in the lion's den. All that we wanted to do even was to actually be getting some money from the traders and the people who are using the carts to carry people across the river, Black River, the Black Volta around Bali. It starts from Chache, and goes all the way to Dollar Power area. It's around me. So all those who are doing trading, all that we wanted was to take some toll from them, small revenue to run the assembly. But the whole thing turned around that because we are taking revenue from them, that means the DC is involved in illegal mining, which really is not the case. We never got involved. Because to cross the river, before you get to that side, it's a long journey. And if you have to go through Banda, it takes you almost 8 hours. It's like going to Accra. So all this time, we have been just trying to get small revenue for the district, and it is becoming very difficult for us. 2017, I remember when I got to Bali first, I got this information that the DCE, that time, my previous DCE, actually was going there to Dollar Power, and he and his command were attacked. And one of the army men lost his life in that thing. So anytime they are talking about going to Dollar Power, I am trying to we must get protection. We must go there unannounced. We cannot just go there like that. I don't know what happened before they were attacked. So we have been holding direct meetings with them. We call them to the district assembly. We report to our regional minister. The real problem in Bali is this. We are borders to Ivory Coast. 22 miles from here is Ivory Coast. And then we are a border to Solatuna, Kalba, and they have Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso. Then we are also bordered with these people, Babato, where we are in Kintampo North. So anytime they sit on the river, Kintampo people will come and sit on the river. We get there, they jump in the river and they swim away. We are not swimmers. They dissect. We are not swimmers. We are just pleading if we can get boats to go around on the rivers. But the hard part of it is the devastation of the land. The people come from all sorts of countries, come and do it. We repatriate them with immigration. I mean, how can you repatriate somebody and they come back? Whatever we do, they come back. When they come and they cannot get the gold, they turn into armed robbers and they are standing on our roadside, killing people and taking their money. This is where our problem is. So if we can get the boats and we can get more police people to patrol, they are doing their best, but they are still having this problem all the time.
The state procures some drones for use to help in this Galamsey fight. Do you have some to help you in your patrol work since you have difficulty, crossing the river and the rest of them?
Yeah, we have two. We have 2 drones, and we have trained 2 people to do that.
Okay.
But the 2 is not enough. The whole district is a very vast district. 2 is not enough. If we take them to Bamboy area or to Banang Kwanta or Tinga or to Dollar Power, which is across the river, It's just not enough. By the time we will see that something is happening, we'll get there, they are gone. So this is our problem.
Interesting. So far, what's the success story? What success have you made in the fight in your area?
Well, we have chalked a few successes, like when we catch them and they arraign them before court, we are allowed to go and let them be repatriated. But when they go, they come back. Several times we send them away and they've come back. And it is a lot of money to get the immigration to take them to the border where they come from and let them go. And that's all we can do. But we actually send them, but they come back.
I see. So apart from needing additional drones to help and train people to, operate them, what sort of help do you need?
We need the boats on the river. If we can get the boat, and then the jackets that we can float on. We are not divers. And these people, when they are sitting on the river, before you get there, they'll jump in the river and they will swim away. And that's where our problem is. But if we have the speed boat, the boats can then we will be able to catch them.
You have colleagues elsewhere, somewhere in the Amansia area. They look for locals who are divers, who can swim, and they motivate the young men, and then they are the ones who are helping them, to arrest some of these Galamseyers who are doing it in the river. Can't you do some initiative on your own before the central government comes to your aid?
Yes, we can do that, Samson. But here's the case. Where the locals are in cahoots with these people, they are all looking for money. Galamsey has become the thing they are doing. They won't even tell us. When you go there, you want to know when and what time they get there. Nobody wants to talk. We have a 10-hectare land that these Babato farms, they are farming. These are people from abroad. They've come to help us in our community to farm 10 hectares. And they are farming. Even banana is being farmed in my district. But the locals will help these people to go and sit on the river. And the people are threatening me that if that's what will happen, they will move away. They are there, but they can't catch them. The locals themselves are the people doing that. So who is going to tell me that these are our people? This is our problem.
All right. Thank you for speaking to us. Veronica Hemming is the District Chief Executive, Bali District. So we're deliberate about it, intentional. If you thought that far away in the north, there was nothing going on, you have heard from the Northeast Regional Minister talk about the open pit mining that's going on and how people have died as a result of that and how they are working on that as well. All right. Let me now go to Henry Kokofu, Dr. Henry Kokofu. Kwabena Kokofu is in charge of the EPA, and he himself is an environmental scientist. Thank you for joining us, Doc.
Thank you.
You have a bad connection. All right. Whilst we try to resolve his, we want him to tell us how come that his officers are all over the place, particularly these areas, and they are supposed to ensure that the right things are being done, and yet this is happening. And shortly, we will give you some information too about the Akonta mining situation. Their place was burnt, where they have been mining the forest reserve, where the ministry and all the states actors say they do not have the right to mine there. And they have gone there. Last week we were here, and we were being told by the deputy minister that They have made sure they have evacuated them, they've stopped them, there's nothing going on. And we gave him information right there and then that they were still there, Akunta Mining was still there, and work was going on. And he promised that men are being dispatched to ensure that something happened. As you understand, in the course of the week, there was a team that went there, officials, and they bent the Akunta Mining structures and other things that they found on site, except that the excavators or machines were moved to Akunta Mining's company site or company premises. And that's where people have issues. The law says these are supposed to be evidence. Arrest them, take them to the custody of a police station. Why were they taken to the company's place? Now, I was saying that very shortly, we'll tell you the OSP issued a statement that it was investigating about these matters. So we will tell you very shortly what the OSP is doing as far as Akunta Mining is concerned. We'll tell you that very shortly. Let's go to Dr.
We will get you.
Right. So the OSP has its eyes all over the place. And as we understand, Chairman Wuntumi, that is Bernard Entry Boesiakon, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, who is the owner of the Akunta Mining company that the state has indicted in seeking to mine or mining in a forest reserve where it does not have a license to do so. We understand that he himself took himself to the OSP's office together with his lawyers to try to commence the process that the OSP has started to investigate persons that the OSP says are in the illegal mining activities that will be investigated. But as we understand, the OSP has informed Akunta Mining that that's what our sources are telling us, that they, the OSP, at their own time, will bring the Chairman Wuntumi and his people to answer questions. So they should not be in a hurry by carrying themselves to their offices by themselves as quickly as they have sought to do. Dr. Tony Obin, okay, I understand that Dr. Kwabena Kukufu is back and your line is good. Thank you very much, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us again. Can you please reduce the volume of the set that is by you?
Yes, I think
you.
I can do without this.
Thank you. So the last time we spoke to you about this, are there any new things that you have done in your outfit to help, the president's campaign, which all of us are involved in now?
Yes, let me say good morning to cherished listeners and viewers. It's unfortunate that much as I want to be on the show in person, certain things keep on cropping up. And even trying to be on Zoom, the technological challenge is also there. It's not deliberate anyway. I'm hoping that God grace next week, I should be there by you. And quickly, let me take the opportunity to formally invite you to 27th October, where I'm going to have a Viva course at University of Ghana, Institute for Environment and Sanitation Studies, a PhD thesis defense, oral examination.
Congratulations. So you are actually not a doctor yet?
I am. I have an honor, but this one is going to.
Okay. All right. So
yes,
let's get to EPA.
Yes, and the reason why I brought this one in borders on this Galamsey, because the thesis research work was all centered around this. So it would be interesting for you to be there so we can all share ideas.
Thanks for the invitation. So
Yes,
I'm asking, since
yes.
we spoke and you spoke about the fact that there are renewed efforts and the president has gone around, talked to chiefs among others, and Mr. Jinapor, the minister, and everybody else is beginning to, roll up their sleeves and revive this fight. What new thing have you done from your outfit? Because you are the officers responsible for approving some of the licenses as regards, say, the reconnaissance and if it has to do with forestry.
Not at all. We permit. We give environmental permits.
Yes, environmental permits. Yeah.
Yes. Once. Okay. Good. We have been working so hard, and then also following the trend which the Honorable Minister for Lands and Natural Resources is leading. We need not have to work in silos. So the integrated approach, the collaborative aspect is very much on the way. From our end, we are in tune with the Minerals Commission to activate and actuate the implementation of the reclamation bond by small-scale mining operators. And that we strongly believe is a tool, is a major and important tool to deal with regulation and formalization of the subsector. These things have been going on during stakeholder engagement. The miners association themselves have been very, very cooperative and key in there. Other stakeholders like Water Resources Commission, the Forestry Commission, the Minerals Commission, and indeed, we are yet to get our district, municipal, and metropolitan assemblies on board, particularly the mining district. So
we understand particularly that for forest reserves, you have a close eye in the forest reserves because you have your officers who monitor the forest reserves regularly. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. We monitor everything regularly. We are supposed to have a thumb over everything. But then the primary responsibility as per law resides in Forestry Commission when it comes to forest reserves. What you may be talking about is maybe the coalition called liaison group that all these stakeholders come together and then we try to look at the implementation of. What has been bone of contention is the forest reserves, are they to be mined or not? And the practice has been that some limited, very limited quantum of hectares are allowed at certain points in time. And it is at that point that we look at the environmental infractions or impact that may so occur or potential impact. Then we at EPA will call for impact assessments and all manner of things. Yes.
Right. What are your officers within these these communities where mining is going on? What are they telling you is the reason they are there and yet the wrong thing is going on?
EPA is not in all the districts for now. We are in the 15 regions. We have 16 regions, isn't it? Yes, we are all over there. And we are in some selected districts. And I must admit that the known and identified mining districts, we have our presence. The challenges there have been numerous, just that we haven't given up. We continue to do what we can within the constraints.
Yeah, you like you said, you give environmental permits. Is that not so?
Yeah, we do.
Right. So what it means is that no mining can go on without a permit, environmental permit.
Supposedly.
Good.
But that is not the case.
Yes. Why is it that that is not happening?
Because we have the illegalities on our hands. Seldom would an illegality miner will even want further to come around and seek permit, be it environmental permit or whatever. The most.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Do you?
Yeah.
Is there something at all that you do when people who have your permits, you find that illegal mining is going on their concessions?
Yeah. Yes, we have sanctioned a lot. We've been able to threaten to revoke our license. That is where I was coming from. Those who are purely doing illegality, they simply do not even bother to come to the regulator. And we have those who have the licenses all right, yet on the ground, the operations, they encounter illegalities, they perpetrate illegalities. Those are the people that maybe you are talking about. When we get to know of that, what's happening? Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So those that we run after, I can give you a case in point. There was this company who came to EPA applying for environmental permit. A host of areas given to the company by the authorizing agencies and then the institutions. They came and they are looking at, and EPA did the very, very, very thorough work, and we got to know that about 4 or 5 of such concessions actually belong to Ghana Irrigation Development Authority. Those are places, those are lands or sites that have been earmarked for irrigation projects. So quickly we had to call in the Irrigation Authority. They came to EPA, we interrogated them, and we asked them if they know that their lands are being given out for mining concessions. And indeed, through that kind of prudence, we were able to save the Irrigation Authority that parcel of land. And many others. There are times where chiefs and landowners have protested vehemently about the companies being permitted. And when we do what we call stakeholder engagement or public hearing, those are the times where we get the sentiment of public. And through that, we may give you the permit or not. We have refused as many permits as possible. Back to your main question, it borders on monitoring. Yes, we have the mandate and we have we are obliged to undertake monitoring. But here you are, that most of these heinous activities occur in the deep night, where everybody is thought to be asleep. And these areas, particularly in the forest reserve, these are very dangerous terrains to traverse. And deliberately, these wicked, money-hungry, greedy miners will check. If you don't take care and you are not careful, you will fall into these traps by way of falling into a pit, by way of even being shot.
As we understand, you have very limited staff. You
Yes.
seem to have about an officer serving, up to 10 districts or even more.
Yeah.
Is that what is happening?
Yeah, that is the case. Indeed.
And in a situation where we have a crisis, are you not planning to, strategize and have your officers sent to the places where they are needed most immediately?
Yeah. Yes, perfectly so. During my own private research work, 2015, 2016, this thing came up strongly. So when I assumed office, quickly I begged my sector minister, and then he also he granted the opportunity to recruit. We used to be 380 staff strength nationwide. As we speak today, the president, through his marching orders, he's been able to recruit some more to about 100%. We are talking about 760 or so. And that has even helped in our case. The sector minister now, Dr. Kokwebri, has also asked us to open up operational district offices. So we go directly down there where the hotspots are. and then put officers there directly. This is what we're working on very soon. And very soon, the deployment will do. That is not simple. We need mobility. And so permission has also been granted that EPA, for the first time in the history of the institution, are procuring 45 vehicles, of which 25 are that robust Land Cruiser type that the miners, the rare good miners, the large-scale miners use. And it's being equipped with all the necessary equipment, including GPS and sirens, all that we need to work with.
All right.
And with that, we will then be able to match good for good those illegal operators, and we'll be able to, with the support of all the other stakeholders.
Why don't you show some results now to be the reason to give you more?
Yes,
Sorry,
very soon you'll be canvassing for us.
All right.
To be giving more. So,
I hear you. Let me go to Dr. Tony Obing, and thank you very much for your patience, Dr. Tony Obing, founder and president, Africa Institute of Extractive Industries, and you formerly were in the Minerals Commission helping in this sort of fight. What do you find to be the missing link? Because the Minerals Commission has a very central role in the issuance of licenses for small-scale mining, which we understand many take advantage for the Galamsey. Hello, Dr. Obing.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm saying that good morning to your panelists and your viewers, particularly my in-law, my DC in-law, Mr. Bonzo K, because my wife comes from his area. Look, I think when Otunfo spoke and Nana Asakwa also spoke, indeed, the problems had been laid bare, and then a solution was also given. I think that the Minerals Commission has a central role to play, but we need to make a difference establish a difference between the large-scale concessionaires, not miners, those who have large-scale mining concessions. Some of them have the reconnaissance concessions, the title, some have the prospecting, and then the mining leases. They commit most of the crime. It is not only the small-scale miner who operates outside the law. As soon as you operate outside the law, you're doing galamsey, you're being illegal. So the concessions that are properly given by the Minerals Commission, they should be able to monitor. They should be able to monitor and apply the rules indiscriminately. Sometimes we see discriminatory implementation of the rule and discriminatory enforcement. And again, I am interested in distinguishing between the implementation side and the enforcement side. If you saw some people mining in a water body, the law do not allow for mining to be done in water bodies. So as soon as you see mining being done in water bodies, it may not be the Minerals Commission which goes out to arrest them. It is at this point the law enforcement agencies. It is like, I have used this example before, the highways, the roads are constructed by the highways put the road speed limit, but it is the police who enforces the law on speed limit. So if they are operating outside the regulated areas, then it goes into the realm of the police enforcing the law or the law enforcement agencies enforcing the law. So that's a challenge that we see. And
from your experience, what can the DCEs and MCEs also do?
Yes, I've heard about new impetus. Well, I would rather call it impetus rather than new regulations, because the process of acquiring the license actually goes through the district assemblies. The publication side. Once the person applies, if it's a recce application, there's an intersectorial technical committee that sits down, look at the application, and says that, well, it meets all the physical requirements, and therefore it must go to the next step. That is when it goes to the district assemblies for the chiefs to be able to give maybe a say-so, a go-ahead for them to sort of go ahead and then process the application. So if the existing procedures require the DCEs or the MMDCEs to actually go through that and confirm that there is no encumbrance or there's no litigation, there's no issue on the land for which the application has been placed. I believe that this has not been properly implemented. That is why a DCE might say that, well, it's at the tail end that we get to know. The ideal process is that the application must go to the district assemblies for the chiefs. In fact, initially it was going to go to the paramount chiefs, but we also realized that there were always some conflicts between paramounties, between divisions, between chiefs, that we were not very sure and we didn't want to be involved in that. So it is the DCE who would know which paramountcy or which stool belongs where. So it goes through them, and the DCE would have to say yes or no. And oftentimes, and in fact, before you are granted, the DC would have written to say we have no objection to this application. I'm sure Honorable Bonzo would have experienced that in his position.
All right. So you are saying what has been announced as some sort of new impetus to the licensing regime for small-scale mining is either not new or there is some problem with. Let's listen to Samuel Abujinapo, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, when he announced the President's directive.
The President is directed that henceforth no mining concession or license should be granted unless the paramount chief of that particular jurisdiction is formally consulted, on record, is formally consulted, so that his views and input will be brought to bear. So is it that no mining concession should be granted until and unless the regional minister or the metropolitan, municipal, or district chief executive is formally consulted. So the processes that the Minerals Commission goes through to eventually make a recommendation to me for the grant of a license is being altered dramatically. And that will mean that the chiefs will now form a central part of the processes leading to the grant of concessions. We believe that will help.
You are saying it's not accurate to say the process, the licensing process and consultation process has been altered dramatically, like the minister says?
I won't call it dramatically. I mean, I'm saying the implementation may have been problematic because it's a kind of ticking the box thing. So you apply for a piece of ground because the Minerals Commission will not know whether there was any encumbrance on that piece, whether there is any traditional issues there. So the Minerals Commission will send that to the District Assembly for the District Assembly to take it to the traditional leader there, because they will know exactly which traditional leader is in charge. And the letter will come back that we don't have any objection. I believe that in most cases, the district assemblies would not go through the processes because I suspect you would have the applicant putting pressure on them and therefore they write the letters for them. But otherwise, the process is always like that. The new impetus, which he calls formally, I don't know how it looks like, but maybe it means that a letter goes to the district assembly and another one goes to the paramountcy. And then also, the paramountcy is often further away. I thought that it should be the traditional council rather than the paramountcy. I mean, that's how I would have looked at it, because, you know, the paramount chief may be far away somewhere. You send him a letter, somebody comes to him with some drinks. Oh, okay, all right. If there's no problem, then he signs. You see, but if it's the council, the traditional council, they may have a committee that will actually look at that and send it to the paramount chief, who is the president of the traditional council.
But you heard Otumfuo. It's the chiefs at the local level who are involved, who are on the are being paid by this Galamsey people. So how can you trust that it shouldn't go to the paramount chief, but rather the chief who is closer to the action?
No, Samson, I didn't say that. I said it could go to the traditional council, where the paramount chief is the president, who is the head. So when it goes to the council, then the council would deal with it as a group rather than the paramount chief himself.
Okay.
Because the paramount chief himself physically may be in a remote area. And also, sometimes, the land locations, the land ownership locations, complex. A piece of land that is located somewhere may belong to another person, another paramount.
But so Dr. Obing, how does this, resolve any of the issues that we are discussing?
Honestly, I think that if we were to implement, because these laws, these things have been gone through before, we are going in circuit. If we were to implement the regulations properly, and we were to enforce them properly, enforce them without discrimination, because as it is now, and as Otunfo rightly said, we arrest people who really don't matter. That's the nature of the enforcement here. You saw they are doing the wrong thing, but you arrest the wrong person. So it is not proper. And people have spoken about political, influences. So if you have to enforce the law, you have to be careful because the person may be powerful, and so on and so forth.
A clear case in point where people have issues with is the very recent situation where Akonta Mining has been found to, the minister at the level of the government has been found to do something wrong, and yet he's not been handed to police. There's no arrest, and even where equipment have been moved from his from where he's mining, they have been moved to his company rather than to the custody of the state.
That is the challenge, and I was happy, Samson, to hear that the Bosome Frehun MP has been suspended.
DC.
Really, the DC has been suspended. Really, that is a kind of call to action. It doesn't mean you have punished, you have tried him or imprisoned him or anything. That is an area you can easily act upon. Just because it came from his own mouth and you appointed him to be the DC, you can say, look, step aside when I investigate. Once we don't do these things, we actually allow people to go in and acquire more power to say, look, me, I can go, you let him go. I mean, even Chinese, the laws do not even allow foreigners to participate in small-scale mining. Right. So as soon as you saw someone who, I have to be very careful over here, someone who doesn't look like a Ghanaian, if you saw a Chinese, you arrest the person, not because just simply because.
But often we know that often they are there at the invitation of the locals. It's the locals who are making the acquisitions. They are behind. They are hiding behind.
Absolutely. But the point is that if you arrested him, then you point to the local kingpin who has also hired him to work there.
Okay.
Because the law simply says it should not be, a foreigner should not be involved in it. But
right.
Samson, let me quickly talk about drones. I mean, I think we have so much hopes in drones that I don't even understand. Drones just go and take pictures. And obviously, we know where these activities occur. The DC from Bali was talking about Tinga, Dollar Power, Bandang, Kwanta, and all those areas. So they know. The drone is just an unnecessary expense by my estimation. I think they just fly, bring pictures. We have enough of the pictures. We have enough of the information available. And we shouldn't spend in areas that really do not help us address this serious challenge.
Okay. If you had one or two pieces of advice, particularly for the DCEs and the chiefs, so they complement the efforts, or they are actually at the heart of it, what will it be?
Well, I think they should do what they are required to do. They have to ensure, and I sympathize with them because they won't have too many places where there will be application. But most of the lands are under some form of concession. Most of the lands in the area are under some form of concession. So I wonder how many applications will come to them anyway. But if they did, they should not just listen to what the applicants would come and tell them that, oh, look, yeah, Penitum, we need to get our investors. That's what they say. Our investors are coming. And in some occasions, and I can't name, things happen in envelopes and then maybe people just sign. This time round, we must show some seriousness, especially when we wake up and see the pictures of our water bodies and the lands that have been mutilated. Mining should not necessarily destroy our lands the way it does, the way we see. The big mining companies, yes, they do have negative impact, but the law is properly enforced over there. So we know there's much less negativity in that area than what we ourselves do to our environment.
All right. Thank you very much. Your in-law wants to ask you a question, and I hope you can answer it within 1 minute for me.
Dr. Tanyomin.
Yes, sir.
As a DC who has been at the forefront of this Galamsey fight, there is a video that I chanced upon that disturbs me, and I wish you could speak to it. There's a video purported.
Don't even talk about it. Let me talk about it.
Yes, let me finish it. It's a purported that you were at the Galamsey site in the run-up to election, and you were encouraging Galamseyers that they should vote for former President John Mahama. Immediately became he won. They were going to be asked to go back and do their Galamsey operations. How true is that? And because that, to me, undermines the very fight to which you have.
You said it's reported.
Yes, purported. I've seen the video, and I know
that he said.
Yes.
I have seen the video myself, and I think, Honorable Bozoke, if you saw me talking, you probably would say, this is what you said. I'm not sure you saw or heard me open my mouth over there. I don't think.
Yeah, the people with you spoke.
So the video you are talking about, he is not speaking.
Yes.
He doesn't speak.
I didn't speak. And then again, I have an institute that I work for.
Okay.
And my interest is in mining, largely in small-scale mining. And I was part of the initial Stop Galamsey. And that the government MMIP program, I was part of the authors. I would go. And I've written and been part of major organizations trying to find solution to small-scale mining.
Now that he says you are not heard on that video saying anything, I think you can end it there. Thank you very much. Well, Nana, so you have listened to DCEs from various places, and we're getting messages from some of our viewers who are saying, well, some DCE is saying something that sounds like they are not up to the work because they are just complaining and they are not, taking initiative. What will you say?
I got a message for Bonzo here. It says, Nana, the gentleman sitting there, I know him and I believe what he's saying. The police and the chiefs will try and bring him down with their lies just to get rid of him. My commander in Asium once told me that if he acts and chase the Galamsey guys away, the chief will write to the president and accuse him of being corrupt, and it could land him in trouble. He says, I have personally paid. So he's gotten a concession. They're called pure character. He's gotten a concession. He's waiting for his permit to move on to site. But Galamsey guys have encroached. Apparently the chief and the assemblyman, she had to pay to go and get the military to come and do an operation. So she's like big insider and gave you credit that you're speaking the truth and that they will come after you if you do that.
All right.
But quickly sum me up because I know you don't have any more time. I think number one, we wait till we are overwhelmed with issues. One person comes, two person come, 3, 4, until it becomes a whole community and they form an association, and then we try to stop it. Another scary thing is if DCs are throwing their hands up in the air, and this is to you, Samson, I know you are a stickler for law and order, but at the moment where we are almost, if not at a state of emergency, can we take all these millions of people and hundreds and thousands of excavators to police stations if we don't apply some radical means that doesn't cost life? I don't know. If we don't apply some radical means, Are there the courts, the prisons to put all these people in? So we should come to the table again and say, listen, at this point, do we still follow the laws that we have, or do we bring some new radical ones in place to shake the system again? What happened to fellow Ghanaians? Look at how we love our funerals. We were told 25 people per funeral. I won't lie to you. I went to a funeral. I was number 26. The widow had to leave the church because they needed me to be there. This guy had played a role in my life. When I went, the widow, and I was thinking, who's even going to know there's 26 of us here? But the widow stepped out so I can stay there a little while and pay my respect. 25.
Just because the president said that is what it ought to be.
It ought to be. This is not, and I wasn't at Flagstaff House, I'm somewhere in North Kaneshi. When I turned up at the church, the widow left.
So what are you saying?
Saying that, can't they be fellow Ghanaians? Everybody should leave my forest or leave my water bodies. What's stopping it? Just fellow, that's all he said. Fellow Ghanaians, henceforth, weddings, 1 hour, church, 1 hour, not more than 25 people. People either obeyed or kept their bodies until such time the ban was lifted. And then...
he was speaking on the operation of law.
Operation of law.
The laws against Galamsey exist.
Well, but he can add some. Well, or he can reinforce it. You know, so this is even a law which was not there, but he made it that because of the situation in which we are now, henceforth, NIPA 25 pe, we did. And look at how we love our dead bodies, but we obeyed. So we are waiting for more fellow Ghanaians. EPA has been very disappointing. Right here at McCarthy Hill, next door to Pambro Salt, is a cement factory and absolutely paralyzed, handicapped, and they are operating next door to a salt pond, which is the only salt pond which we are always complaining that we could have done better with salt. Somebody's built a cement factory. It's as though as soon as these Chinese people come in, we just get completely comatose, you know. And then finally to just land and go. I mean, this issue of illegal mining, I am still saying, if the chief and the community do not welcome it, it is near impossible for it to happen. Some assemblymen and DCEs, you go to the towns and they are like, Father Almighty. Assemblyman, you have there 4 years to come and help me. If government says something, you bring me the news. The assemblymen are selling lands. Assemblymen are, they are running the town and the chiefs are completely handicapped. I'm thinking, why? This is your land, your inheritance. And this guy is just there to help you. Why has he all of a sudden taking over lands? Dabbling in Galamsey, assemblyman. What are you talking about? So my fellow chiefs, you have a permanent position. Don't be too scared with people with temporary positions. DC, I will give you all the respect and I want it right back. You're not coming to boss me. Samson, after elections, I don't allow any campaigning. So posters, billboards, everything is off my town. You can't come and tell me, the poster be see me cool.
What do you make of the call for the president to declare a state of emergency in these particular areas?
I support it, 1 second.
And police it?
I support it 100%. Samson, water is life. So it is just like me coming here and you're drinking water and I'm dropping little cyanide of water in there and everybody thinks, oh, yeah, let's form a committee. Form a committee? The people are killing people. I hear liver diseases are going up, strange births are coming in. I mean, this is life and death we are talking about. And does it get more serious than life and death? So yes, areas where these things are critical, I think we should declare state of emergency, send some generals there to go and help the DC. Put some generals
The generals is another issue because as we understand, some of them are now getting involved. And some of the officers
don't want to go to Lebanon.
Some of the officers now don't want to go on peacekeeping. They prefer to be sent to police Galamsey site. So, briefly, what will you share with your colleague, DCs, MCs who are watching and listening to you, your initiatives, and what are the difficulties that you need help around?
Okay, thank you. Mining is a legitimate business governed by the laws of the state.
That's right.
Be it small scale, medium scale, or large scale. And that's all we need to do to enforce the laws that governs mining. why do we call it Galamsey or illegal? It's because some people decide that they don't want to play by the rules. The rules are very clearly spelled out. If you want to mine, go to Minerals Commission, get your concession, go to the assembly, register with them. You are regulated by EPA, you get your permit and everything. In that case, issues of pollution of water bodies can be regulated. Issues of reclamation, it's all spelled out in the small-scale mining lease agreement that you sign with the Minerals Commission. So it becomes very easy for the assemblies to enforce it. But these are a group of people who, in their bid to make money through illegitimate means, they will not play by the rules. And like Nana said, Nana is here. If I want to have a piece of land to build in your hometown,
The whole time is planned.
yes, the first point I will have to come to you, and then you give me the land. So even if a burden, I have to go to a chief, I can't go to your hometown, Adumasa, and then come and build without your knowledge. So how can Galamseyers just walk into any place without the knowledge of the chief? That's where the chiefs have a very big role to play. The new directive issued by the president through the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, I think I disagree with Dr. Tony Obin. Since I became a DC in the last 5 years, there's never been any time that any application for concession has come to me to be vetted before. You always get it at the tail end, yes. At the tail end, when they bring the Gazette, then you are only supposed to publish it for 21 days. And if people have any objection, they will raise it. Now, because MMDCs will become a focal point in this fight, the president directed that at our meeting in Kumasi, that everybody's blaming the chiefs, everybody's blaming the MMDCs. Meanwhile, when you go to a Galamsey site, there's no way for you to find out whether the guy has a permit or not. So in this case, let's make you a focal point of the issuing of licenses, the licensing regime, so that even before a license is issued, you are aware of the location, everything. So if I go to location A, let's say Anya, and then somebody is doing mining, I can clearly say that this is illegal mining, then I will deal with it. Now, the laws of the Minerals and Mining Act has been amended recently, as recent as 2019, which profers some very stiff punishment.
Yeah,
15 years,
very
yes.
stiff.
And these are the things that we need to do as a country. Because the issue of Galamsey, if we are not careful, will swallow us. You put it in the right way.
So I'm surprised. Nana, if you are buying gold without license to buy it, so you need a license, first of all, to be able to buy the gold.
Exactly.
So that we are sure you are not going to buy the gold from the wrong place. If you are buying it without license, if you are undertaking the mining operations without license, if you are aiding that process, if you are facilitating it, if you are promoting it, our new law says when you are caught, the punishment you get is 180,000 Ghana cedis to pay as a fine, or you go to jail between 15 and 25 years. If you are a non-Ghanaian and you are undertaking it or you are facilitating it and you are caught, you are supposed to pay between 4.2 million Ghana cedis, and you could have a jail term between 20 and 25. If you are a Ghanaian and you are permitting it, some Chinese is coming to see you and you are allowing them to do, then, and you are permitting it, you are facilitating it, you are looking to go to jail for 15 to 25 years. And the president said, we needed to do this so we take the power away from the discretion of a judge who may be compromised and may give you just 1 year or 6 months to go in jail, or may simply say, pay some small amount of money and go free. Yet, this doesn't deter. What does that tell us?
That's exactly what I was talking about. So we need to enforce these laws and make sure that it works. Without these laws working, look, all the fight we are talking will come to naught. As a DC, what will you do? You go and arrest the Galamsey.
And I spoke about population increase and joblessness.
Well, the fact that you are jobless doesn't guarantee that over here in Gokomemle, there are jobless people here. Doesn't warrant that they should come in and attack and steal from Joy FM because Joy FM is prospering. The fact that you are jobless doesn't give you the permission for you to go and pollute our water bodies. Then me and you will suffer. Joblessness, unemployment is one issue that government is tackling. Every government is faced with that joblessness. Every part in this country, every part in the world has unemployment crisis. But it doesn't justify the fact that because you are unemployed, you should go and do an activity that will put the lives of the whole nation in danger.
We should be thinking of the next phase.
Right.
Because we are trying
Nana, I take a quick break. I come to hear from you because I actually asked you a question. After all these hefty sums, 1.4 million, 20, 25 years, and still people are still in it. Right, you're welcome back. So, Nana Nsakwa, you were about to say something.
Well, quickly. Now, you see, all our Galamsey gold have been blacklisted. You can either take it to India or Dubai. In their refinery process, the silver and copper they get, they keep because, you don't even have a bargaining stand. But you know what you're saying? Look, if I use myself as an example, I took Jassy and Imbrantihine. Jassy is like number 3 in command in terms of hierarchy. Imbrantihine is in charge of the youth. So look at the risk I took, taking these people to court to prosecute them, to make sure that, listen, stay away from my trees. Now, if they want to stop these things, they must put some big boys before the court and fine or... Look at when Dampari put Elijah in prison. The nation prophet Elijah, when he locked him, the whole, even social media, everybody was telling that, look, let's wait and see, because it was so scary. Because this is somebody is powerful than you, and going through this thing, if it happens to me, as for me, they will fry me alive. So they should be bold enough to get the real corporates, some of the big players, lock 1 or 2. You see how sanitized the system will be.
Interesting the way he says it, lock 1 or 2.
Because Samson, Galamseyers, as I've known them, they don't want to be in jail.
We are told that is how corruption is well fought in the countries where it has been fought, not the people on the low side, the periphery is a real. So let's and Dr. Kwabena Kukufu, Henry Kwabena Kukufu, I'll come to you shortly. Let me go to Ignatius Asa Mensah. What will you also like to share with your other colleagues who are doing this, and what one major challenge do you need help around?
Hello.
Yes, you are on.
Yeah. So we've spoken a lot, but then I would want us to look at where we do immediate enforcement of the so-called laws that we have concerning mining and the reviewed ones. We have to do immediate implementation of it, and immediate and practical. I'm saying immediate and practical because recently the president has directed that the chief and MMDCs should be part of the licensing regime. For example, we are saying that those that buy them, those buyers who are buying the gold without license, that you will see a lot of these shops within your area. Which one is legal and which one is not legal? Because you are not part of the issuance of the license to the one who was buying, you cannot just go to the person one by one to ask whether he has a license or not. So immediate and practical implementation of all these reviews that we have done, I think it will help us to stop the menace. Also, we were talking about unemployment. I know that the president or the government is doing a lot, this event thing. But, these days, how this tankers out of Zoom Lion has become so attractive. I would want that agric, as we are preaching of, will become attractive to the youth so that they will enter in rather than to take the mining or the illegal mining as an alternative. Right. And then we should also be patient. The Hiroshima and Nagasaki war, the destruction that happened, I don't think Japan just got up one day and become Japan of the day. We should all calm down. We should be patient and make sure that all the policies that we are implementing comes into fruition. Other than that, everybody rushed to get money, and at the end of it all, the posterity will judge those of us.
Thank you very much, Ignatius Asa Mensah. Dr. Henry Kwabena Kukufu, We are running out of time. You have the last word. What would you say in a minute? Did I lose him? It does appear that we have lost Dr. Henry Kokofu there. We have Veronica Heming. In a minute, what would you like to say finally? Hello, Madam Heming. Hello? Okay. That's unfortunate. It does appear that we have lost her as well. We have lost her too. There are many of you who are commenting about my shirt, and that's Habil's Couture. You can find them at Ajiringano Gate, East Legon. You can also call them right now, 0200 84 1988, 0200 84 1988. Dr. Henry Kokofu, I understand you are back on the line. Are you?
Yes, please. Yes,
Great. We have just a minute to go.
Right. Thank you very much, Senior. And I must commend your good job, your producers for this program. It's quite educative, and it's going to help us all fight this menace. A quick one about the comment.
Your call has been put.
What just happened? Yeah, I understand you're on. Please go on. Hello? That's a bit unfortunate. This is where we draw the curtains on this today's show. We sought to speak with DCEs, chiefs, and regulators to get into their minds to understand what the difficulties they may be facing in this fight against the Galamsey menace, so that if there's some help that we can all offer collectively to assist, then why not? I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope that we will all remember that Galamsey is destroying our lives, is destroying livelihoods, and we each have something to do. My guests have been Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu, Executive Director, Environmental Protection Agency. Francis Kwesi Bonzo is the District Chief Executive of Elembele. Ignatius Asar Mensah is District Chief Executive in Poho District. Veronica Heming is District Chief Executive, Bali District. And Nana Ansa Kwao IV is Chief of Akwemu Edumasa and host. That's my opinion on joy. Dr. Tony Obing is founder and president of Africa Institute of Extractive Industries. He used to be responsible for the Minerals Commission. I've just seen your messages that you have sent in, but time has run out of us. We also spoke to Yidana Zakaria, Regional Minister, Northeast Region. Hugh says that the fight against Galamsey is not in the bush. It's about the money. Who buys the gold from these illegal miners? Who export the gold from the country? It's a demand and supply issue. Once there is demand, people will always find ways to supply. I'll read a final one. There are too many of them. Theo Echampon, Dr. Theo Echampon says, the problem is not policy or regulation, for we have plenty of them. It's the lack of enforcement due to pervasive vested interest, which cuts across all strata of our Ghanaian society. We have a rentier state, Darwinian survival for many of our folks. That's where I'll end it. Have a good afternoon. I'm Samson Lardy Anyenini.